The young lion was trapped in dead branches, a single misstep away from being trampled by the herd of cattle below. Just as it was about to fall, its Lion King father charged down swiftly from the valley, leaping into the wild herd without hesitation, roaring to save the cub. The sheer number of wildebeests overwhelmed the Lion King, sending him flying. The cub tumbled to the ground as well. Desperate to save his offspring, the lion rushed forward, snatched up the cub, and placed it to safety. Before he could react, the frenzied herd charged again, engulfing him and trampling him underfoot. The little lion was frantic, utterly helpless. Suddenly, a truly thunderous roar echoed around them. The Lion King had leaped up and grabbed the cliff face, then began clawing his way upward with every ounce of strength. The cliff face was impossibly steep and slick. Each upward movement was a real struggle. Even the mighty forest lion was almost completely spent. With a final surge of strength, it leaped upward, now just one step from the summit. But approaching was a treacherous face indeed. The Lion King pleaded desperately, his own brother reaching out a hand, yet Scar's face was full of malice, shoving him off the cliff. The Lion King never imagined he would be brutally murdered by his own brother. Meanwhile, the cub remained completely oblivious, sadly watching his father fall helplessly to the ground. He rushed quickly to his father's side, nudged him gently, still hoping he would rise again, but his father lay still, completely lifeless. Overwhelmed with grief, the cub leaned against him, utterly unable to believe his invincible father was dead and gone. Soon, Scar slowly sauntered over and feigned comfort to the bewildered cub, subtly blaming him directly for the Lion King's death and emphasizing his perceived terrible mistakes. Completely rejected by the pride, the little lion, truly believing it all, was filled with guilt, and then helplessly asked his uncle what to do.
What am I gonna do?
Flee, Simba. Disappear now, and never come back.
Heartless Scar wanted to eliminate the threat completely, so he immediately commanded the hyenas. The little lion had no choice but to flee for his life, but soon found himself cornered and plunged straight off a cliff. The hunting dog, gazing at the towering cliff face, assumed the little lion was definitely dead and turned back to report to Scar. Little did they know, the lion cub, the main character, landed on the cliff, barely escaping death. It's too ashamed to face its mother right now. Having lost its father's protection and now being left the pride, how will it ever survive alone in the wild? This unfortunate lion cub, Simba, is the son of Mufasa, the powerful ruler of the Pride Lands. Born into privilege, he was revered from birth by all. However, Scar, his jealous uncle, deeply resented him. The kingship traditionally passed down through lineage and birthright. Scar, Mufasa's brother, once had a chance, but Simba's arrival forever shattered his hopes of ever becoming king, a truly devastating and bitter blow for him indeed. Scar, obsessed with the throne, saw an opportunity and plotted. He lured Simba to a secret adventure spot, claiming it was a rite of passage for young lions. Intrigued, Simba quickly seized a moment when Zazu wasn't looking, and eagerly set off on an exciting adventure with Nala. It was hard-won entry to the secret realm, finding it eerie and strange, with animal bones scattered, permeated by death's aura. Contrary to the peaceful view of the Chi-Chi River grasslands, this stirred a strong sense of foreboding in Nala. She quickly urged Simba to turn back immediately. But Simba, without a trace of fear, boldly stepped straight into the depths, completely unaware of the deadly danger quietly approaching. Soon, a large pack of ravenous wild dogs appeared, quickly surrounding the two lion cubs. This remote place was indeed their den. Facing the malicious dogs, Simba quickly revealed his identity, but they simply didn't care, only wanting to devour them for a satisfying meal. Hearing Simba's small, frightened roars, the hyenas only mocked him. But then, a powerful roar echoed nearby, instantly terrifying them. Simba's father, the Lion King, had arrived just in time. The Lion King's formidable power is truly well-deserved. A single swipe flattened a large group. Faced with such a powerful Lion King, the hounds were completely outmatched, intimidated into retreat by his overwhelming presence. Even the arrogant hound leader was absolutely too scared to move. Finally, the Lion King calmly led his two cubs away. However, Scar wasn't ready to give up at all. That very night, he sought out the hyena leader alone. To seize the throne quickly, he stooped incredibly low, allying with his sworn enemies, secretly plotting a truly vicious scheme. The next day, Scar cunningly lured young Simba to a desolate and very dangerous gorge under the guise of teaching him how to roar, then made a quick excuse to leave him all alone. Simba was still practicing his roar, oblivious to the danger, wanting to become a great lion like his father. Suddenly, a pack of wild dogs. The stampede began abruptly, a deliberate act of hunters driving the bison this way. Simba was helpless against the uncontrolled herd, and was forced to flee very quickly. His short legs were no match at all for the thundering bison horde. After hiding for a while, Simba climbed onto a dead tree trunk. Luckily, the Lion King arrived in time to save him, but the Lion King paid the ultimate price. Simba wandered aimlessly in the desolate desert. Although he narrowly survived the wildebeest stampede, he was tormented by the guilt of causing his father's death. His father's passing left an indelible scar on Simba's heart. Exhausted, Simba collapsed onto the desert floor, losing all will to live completely. Quite soon, vultures gathered closely around, and facing the scavengers, Simba, wanting only to die, offered absolutely no resistance. Just then, a wild boar suddenly charged out, scattering the circling vultures. Simba narrowly escaped death again. Having faced 3 near-death experiences in one day, Simba finally realized that he wasn't destined to die just yet. The best way to heal inner pain is to let go of the past. Simba, accompanied by the cheerful warthog and meerkat, joyfully and eagerly begins a brand new life, fully leaving his teacher behind. This peaceful haven is indeed tranquil, and all the little creatures live in harmony, never fighting each other at all. Simba's only real struggle is getting used to a diet of plump caterpillars. Time flies, and with the constant companionship of his friends Pumbaa and Timon, Simba has truly grown into a magnificent lion. However, he lives a lazy and idle life, casually munching on bugs, humming tunes, and living carefree days, as if only by escaping reality can he alleviate the sorrow of losing his father. On the other side, the once flourishing Pride Lands, under Scar's brutal reign, had become utterly dilapidated and desolate. It turns out he secretly killed Mufasa, then claimed that Mufasa and Simba tragically died in a wildebeest stampede while saving each other. Scar then officially usurped his brother's place, becoming the new king of the Pride Lands. To solidify his power, he also courted the infamous Hound Pack for support, creating a situation that suppressed the lions. The other lions could only silently endure and wait, afraid to rebel. The uncontrolled and frenzied hunting by hounds severely damaged the grassland's ecological balance, turning the once lush and thriving land into a desolate scene of bones and death within a single year. Scar, who craved the throne and its comforts, now desperately sought the queen's approval and recognition. Without her crucial support, he would forever be seen as a usurper. But the queen, deeply devoted to the Lion King, flatly rejected him. Scar, enraged, retaliated sharply by significantly rationing the pride's food supply and further restricting their freedom until the queen finally agreed to marry him. That very day, the monkey elder stumbled upon a tuft of lion's mane. With his innate ability to recognize bloodlines, the elder monkey determined at a glance that Simba was still alive. Overjoyed, he climbed to the top of a tall branch and announced the heartening news to all the monkeys. That night, Nala, Simba's childhood friend, quietly slipped away from the territory while Scar and the hyenas were fast asleep. Driven by resolve, she sought Simba to restore Pride Lands. Meanwhile, Simba gazed at the night sky, yearning for his mother and the pride. He remained convinced he was responsible for his father's death, and shame prevented facing them. Simba was happily playing and having great fun with his friends when, all of a sudden and unexpectedly, a lioness appeared, quickly scattering the animals all around. She relentlessly chased a warthog, eventually cornering it completely and utterly. In a life-or-death moment, Simba quickly charged in and tackled the lioness to the ground, engaging in a fierce struggle. Even Simba, who had lived peacefully and never really fought, was quickly overwhelmed and pinned by a lioness. The familiar caress instantly revealed Simba that Nala was before him. The two lions, reunited after so long, excitedly frolicked in circles. Nala then told Simba about the current state of Pride Lands. Scar and Ruin hold the land in a grip of fear, far from its peaceful past. He begs Simba to return, defeat the treacherous Scar, and restore the Pride Lands to their former glory. Simba, accustomed to his peaceful and carefree life in the jungle, and still deeply grieving his father's death despite Nala's patient and constant coaxing, remained timid and unwilling to confront his past. Seeing Simba before her, devoid of ambition, complacent, Nala felt disappointment and helplessness. She could hardly believe the once brave, fearless Simba had become timid, cowardly. After her earnest persuasion failed, Nana left dejectedly. Later that night, Simba, troubled and restless, wandered in the woods. Just as he felt lost, Elder How suddenly appeared, blocking his path. Simba tried to ignore him, but Elder How claimed he could definitely help him see his deceased father. Hearing this important news, Simba quickly pursued him. Following Elder How's directions, Simba arrived at the river bank. Gazing at his reflection, Simba felt a wave of disappointment. In an instant, the monkey elder gently touched the water, and father's kind face appeared so very clearly on the lake. Almost immediately, he seemed to hear father's very own words. "My proudest achievement is you, my dear son. Always remember your sacred duty as king." With his father's guidance and encouragement, Simba finally resolved the long-standing trauma. Watching the beautiful sunrise, he reignited his determination to reclaim the throne. He roared loudly from the mountaintop, his true Lion King lineage awakened. Determined, he vowed to reclaim everything from Scar. Simba then embarked on his long and arduous journey home, traversing the desolate plains and the deep valleys, and finally returning to his ravaged, once glorious homeland. Gazing at his desolate homeland, Simba was filled with mixed emotions, further solidifying his resolve to reclaim the throne. Peppa and the little mouse bravely stepped forward, willing to help him greatly, risking their own safety to lure away all the hunting dogs. At that moment, the unyielding queen enraged Scar, who, in a fit of fury, fiercely attacked her with malice. Just then, a truly deafening roar echoed very loudly and clearly, startling the treacherous Scar, who greatly feared his brother. The true king had indeed returned. Upon closer inspection, it turned out to be Simba indeed. The queen, overjoyed and relieved, embraced him tightly. Simba's return was met with the pride's immediate and truly enthusiastic approval, who saw him as the rightful king, indeed. Scar, blinded by greed, refused to relinquish power easily. A master manipulator, he dredged up the past, deliberately preying on Simba's deepest wounds.
Mother! No, it was an accident. If it weren't for you, the king would be alive. It's your fault he's dead. Do you deny?
Cornered by Scar's relentless accusations, Simba, overwhelmed with guilt, found himself retreating back with anxiety and fear. He lost his footing, barely managing to hold on tightly with his front paws. The harrowing scene replayed itself again, but this time Simba was the one teetering right on the brink. Scar, gloating with triumph, revealed the complete and utter truth of what happened. Overcome with grief and rage, Simba beat Scar's face hard and leaped swiftly to higher ground, fully determined to avenge his father's death and honor his memory. Scar, terrified, retreated and immediately ordered the hyenas to attack. Simba bravely fought back, quickly taking down a large number of hunting dogs. However, the sheer number of dogs quickly overwhelmed him, and he soon began to slowly lose ground. Seeing the situation, the queen dispatched lions for support. With the lions joining the battle, the situation swiftly reversed into a crushing advantage. Paige used her signature move, charging and knocking down a large group of hounds. Seeing the situation was beyond saving, Scar tried to slip away in the chaos. Simba spotted him immediately and quickly gave chase, determined to avenge his father's death. Very soon, Scar was cornered at the very edge of a bottomless cliff, utterly terrified. His former arrogance and bluster had completely vanished. To save his own skin, the treacherous Scar quickly blamed everything on the hound, falsely claiming he masterminded the whole affair completely. The hound overheard every single word very clearly. Seeing that Simba still wouldn't forgive him, Scar resorted to playing the family card again, desperately begging Simba for mercy. Simba, with a kind heart, wasn't swayed. Wipe him out and banish him from the glorious grassland forever. Who knew that in a flash, the treacherous Scar launched a sudden, underhanded attack. Simba, instantly ablaze with fury, was utterly disillusioned with his uncle. In that moment, he showed absolutely no mercy at all. The aged and weakened Scar was truly no match for Simba and quickly fell off the cliff, but he didn't die immediately. As he was secretly sobering up and wiping himself off, the hounds, having seen through his true nature, surrounded him. The unrepentant Scar still wanted to reconcile with the hounds, but they would never trust him again. The pack of hounds descended, tearing Scar to pieces. And so, Simba rightfully reclaimed his throne, and he and Nala had a cup together. Under Simba's strong leadership and unwavering protection, the Pride Lands flourished once more, and all creatures lived in peace and great happiness.